good now.
Hi. Now I have to
Hi.
unplug it, so hopefully I'm good and charged up by now. So we figured it out. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Oh shoot.
Cool.
I have Sunny here. I wasn't accounting for half the screen.
Yeah, yeah. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I'll start a little bit just by telling the viewers and those that haven't seen the show yet, what I've been doing for the past 4 months. So in April, when the whole pandemic started, I was thinking of different ways that I could help the local businesses, as they were being affected by either closing down or just slowing down. And having a pretty big following here on Instagram, I thought of doing these live videos to help them make people aware of the businesses and, help get customers in the door and just, people know what are the businesses that make up our community here in Southwest Florida. So I started, been doing this. I'm close to 100 videos already. So a lot of them been doing for a while. And I get to learn a lot, obviously new things. I learned a lot of things today on a call with you.
Yeah.
I hope to learn more here. And then, it's just, great to be able to give back to the community and help out a lot as well. So that's what I've been doing. But that's enough about me. The show is about you guys. So I'm going to ask you guys to kind of introduce yourselves a little bit personally, who you are, where you're from. If you're not from the area, how did you end up here?
Okay. Well, thank you. First of all, I think what you're doing is awesome. I was really excited, and anything to highlight our small local businesses, I'm for, because that's what we are. My name is Chrissy Mettauer. I am the president of Mettauer Environmental. With me today is Sunny Backus. He's our business developer. So I asked him to join me because we have a special little video series coming out called Sunny in Southwest Florida. So I'm introducing him to his new media role.
Awesome.
And anyways, so I'm local. I was born and raised, actually born in Naples Hospital and raised in Fort Myers for a very long time. I've been here, we'll just say that. And Mettauer Environmental was founded by my husband in 2001, but he was a sole proprietor from the 80s, basically. And so he's a Florida native as well. And we've just been doing business in Southwest Florida for a really long time, and we're glad to be here promoting what we do and teaching everyone about our industry, because it's kind of an unknown industry. Yeah. Unless you're dealing directly with it, you don't even know we're out here. So, awesome. And Sunny, you want to introduce yourself? I already gave you an intro.
Yeah. Sunny Backus, born and raised in Fort Myers, lived in LaBelle my whole life. So not too far from where I grew up, working here, doing stuff that I enjoy, being outside and getting to play in the woods and be on the water.
Awesome. And so, before we talk about the actual services that you do so that people will actually understand a little bit better, I think, you kind of alluded to and you started talking a little bit about your husband founding the company. What was, if you know this, what was the story behind it? What did he feel that there was a need for that he decided to open the company?
So the company has really evolved, and my husband has an interesting background. So believe it or not, there really are cowboys alive, and he was a cowboy. He grew up on working on ranches and taking care of ranch lands, and that actually has a lot to do with water management, plant management, turf management, all these different aspects of keeping these large tracts healthy, the animals healthy, and things like that. So he started at age 14 working on ranches in Central Florida, and then he ended up coming over here through some people that he knew as businesses or developments here started to boom. He got called over to do sod and lake planting and some other stuff for the Bonita Bay Group back when they were the prime high-end developer. So he primarily worked for them for, I don't know, about 10, 12 years. And then the market crashed. So, and then all building stopped. So he was on the side of development for many years, and then all that halted. And through his development, he worked creating the natural areas that are within these communities that you see, the preserves and conservation areas. Those are actually they were there, but cleaned up and created and preserved by companies like us. So we did, like for instance, Shadowwood Preserve. He, back when that was being developed, oh, sorry, you're getting dimmed. I have to touch the screen. He relocated like something like 750 some odd gopher tortoises. So safely relocated them to and preserved those, and then built up the wetlands there. And we've been maintaining that on-site preserve, which is how many acres? It's a massive
625.
So we've been taking care of that natural area within this development for ever since it was developed. So he did that. Luckily, he picked up that. You have to maintain it. It never goes away, just like landscaping. You have to it requires maintenance, because if the wrong vegetation comes in, for instance, Brazilian pepper, I think a lot of people are familiar with that. That plant gets in those native areas and just takes over, and then we start losing our native Florida habitat, birds and wildlife. So it has a chain reaction. So luckily we had those contracts, and then when I got involved, we just started looking at how the system connects and adding the services that are all attached, for instance, and that's where I was talking to you, the infrastructure that runs the stormwater and also the lakes and the aeration and fountains. So when I came in, I kind of took over, but he's still here.
So essentially, it's a business that, as you mentioned to me earlier, it kind of has evolved to what it is today, from the needs that you as you perform the work, you realize that there were certain needs, and then it kind of evolved into a company that provides those services.
Yes, because we were known for the building aspect. So when the downturn came, a lot of lakes were already eroding. I'm sure you're familiar with looking at lake banks that have this big crevice out of it. And so we got called to come out and fix that because it's in violation of permit, it's unsafe.
Did I lose you? Yep, back.
Sorry, it
All right.
paused due to poor connection. We are an environmental company, and we're out kind of in a no man's land. We don't have high-speed internet.
All right.
Anyway, so yes, when we looked at the reasons these lake banks were deteriorating, it was obvious to us that the vegetation was getting just nuked and there was no stabilization. And so as we worked with clients fixing it, and then watching the lake management company come in and do it all over again, we were like, okay, enough. Like, let us take care of this, because we had the licenses for what we had been doing already for governments and things like that. So we were like, let us stabilize this and keep it going. And then it's just evolved from there.
Awesome.
And everyone
Right,
seems to like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're already kind of talking about what you do, but we haven't really described the services, right? And like you said, it's because it's something that is not very common, and I think a lot of people don't know about it. Just in a brief conversation we had earlier today, I learned so much, and certain things like to me, the lake behind my house is just for looks, right? And the fountain was just behind for looks. But you kind of taught me that that's not the case. So if we can kind of cover the services that you do, but at the same time, explain to the viewers like myself that don't know all the details, the purpose of doing that. We talk about and you mentioned a little bit the vegetation around the lakes, the purpose of the the different services that you do.
Yeah, so, and that's probably my fault. I get really passionate about talking about things, and I'm like, oh, and let me tell you this and that. And then you're like, bring it back to the point, lady. So our services, if you think about it, they're all correlated to stormwater. when you have a tract of land, everyone lives in these developments, right? When you have this tract of land, before it was a development, it was just a tract of land. There was prairie, pasture, wetland, marshes, lakes, whatever. Not lakes, but marshes and wetlands. Then the developers got their permits to build houses and streets and infrastructure. In order to do that, part of their permit said, well, we need you to, this water that would normally sit on this property has to go somewhere. When you build all these roads and all these hard surfaces and houses, when the water comes down, it still needs to go somewhere. Normally it would flow across this land, get filtered, drain in, and the nutrients would get taken out before it reached the coastline. So this is why in these developments, there's all these lakes. They are stormwater lakes. They're there to capture the runoff from the rain and the water and help treat it, pre-treat it, and keep it clean and send it out to our estuaries in a similar state or condition that it would have been had we never built houses there. So that's the goal. You in your development, you'll see these nice conservation areas. Then you have your roads and your gutters. Well, your gutters have infrastructure, stormwater pipes below them. They're connecting your wetlands, capturing your road water, filtering it through your stormwater lake, and then that lake usually has an outflow at the end of your community, and from there it goes into a canal or a creek or a river or another wetland per se, and then eventually that water does make it to our coastlines and estuaries. So that's the connection, and what we manage is your wetlands. All those pipes, we do pipe inspection, repair, cleaning, maintenance, keep those pipes functioning, and all the way through the lake, where there we take care of the water and the aquatic vegetation in the lake, your fountains, your aeration, your plants, and do our best to capture it and keep it in check from the time it's in one place all the way through the time it's leaving. So that's what we do. Most companies, the hard part about it is most companies, they do the lake or they do the natural area. Hardly anybody does the infrastructure in between, and most people don't have the building experience that we do behind it all, the understanding of the whole system.
So essentially, you know, what you try to do is in a modern way with, you know, civilization, is have the same event that would happen if there was nothing built on it happen. But you obviously then you have to build the canals, and you have to build the stormwater flows and everything.
Right. We're doing our best to manage that water and the nutrients and send it out to our estuaries as best as it can be, considering the development that's taken place on that tract of land. Awesome. So, and what we were talking about was the fountains, and I was like, yes, fountains are beautiful, and that's gives everyone the impression that this lake was put here for me to look at and make me happy. Well, I think fountains were invented to trick you, to make you think this was for you. But really, this lake is to function, to maintain habitat, to clean up nutrients, and to send it out to our coastal estuaries clean, which is why we are such an advocate of the plants. And a lot of people don't understand the function of these plants that are around the rim of these lakes. They're designed to help uptake pollution, because pollution is fertilizer, detergents, oils from the road, sediments, and there's no way around it. People create it. It's just, that's humanity and our lifestyle. We try to promote awareness as ways we can reduce our own pollution, but one of the ways we help combat it is to have a proper amount of plants within these bodies of water that have the ability to absorb these nutrients and pollutants before they leave and go gather more down the canal and hit the estuaries. I'm going to touch the screen so we don't lose you.
Awesome. And yeah, I mean, and we're talking about, I was telling you that, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago here in my community, you know, they came around and they put plants all around the lake, and, you know, for the looks of it, I wasn't too happy with it, right? And it was not until today when you explained the purpose of it that, you know, it makes sense. But you were also telling me about the banks itself, right? About the erosion and how those kind of help the erosion as well. So it's kind of a way to ensure that, you know,
yes,
the banks of the lake are okay.
It's a critical component, and that is what I was touching on before, the reason we got into this industry, because we do a lot of lake bank erosion repair. It's a major business unit for us. And although we like it, it keeps all my guys working and provides us great careers. There's a reason a lot of it's happening that, and I'm not the one to sit back and not say anything. It's like, hey, we can reduce a lot of this with a different method of maintenance on our lake. And that's what we've been advocating, to leave the plants in place, get more plants, and try to find a balance between what homeowners like, what's manageable from a budget point of view, because the wrong plant can cause maintenance nightmares. You can't see at all. It takes over. It crowds out the other things you like. So there's like a balance point with it all. But with these plants in place, they have root systems that will root into the soils on the side of the bank. And if you don't spray them, overly spray them, or untarget spray, they'll last a long time and you won't have as much erosion problem, which is very expensive. And everyone that lives in these communities, they pay their HOA fees, and those fees end up going towards lake bank repair. So they're critical for a lot of things, and that's what we try to teach everyone. And part of what we do to encourage plants is we have a special program called Littorals for Life. So when a client is a maintenance contract for us, like we're taking care of your lakes, any littorals that are there, we're going to always keep them there. If we have to attack a problem and it's going to cause a loss of natives, we're going to replace them. We don't charge anyone because we understand that this is a critical component for the health of this lake. Unlike most companies where, you know, if you want a plant, you got to pay for it. We understand the value of the big picture, and that's part of what we do. It just comes with our maintenances.
Awesome. Before I move on to my next question, I kind of just want to finalize this, you know, the services that you cover. And, you know, the people watching here, we're talking a lot about communities, and but that's just not who you serve. I mean, you serve, you know, regular homeowners, you serve the cities, you serve the counties, and obviously communities, because that's where most of the lakes are, but you serve everybody else.
Yeah, we have a dynamic customer base of private property owners, your HOAs, CDDs, property managers, and then we have a large portion of our business devoted to municipalities and government entities. So, you know, we're a state FWC contractor, so we take care of the natural areas. Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Close up. So we're a FWC contractor, South Florida Water Management. We take care of large tracts of land all throughout the state. In Tampa, Collier County, we're actually the only aquatic contractor that maintains all of the stormwater flowways for all of Collier County. And we've been working, you know, with Lee County and the city of Fort Myers for many, many years. We started with them actually first. So yeah, we have a wide range of clients, and you can be just a regular homeowner with a little pond in your backyard, and you could be like, why do I have all these lily pads, and I just got that call today. Like, are they bad? Like, are they going to take over? Are my fish going to die? So I mean, everybody that has something like that, and we got a call recently for a private pasture. A man has a pasture. What can I do? So yeah, we're for everyone.
Awesome. And just out of curiosity right now, so when I'm driving down on, you know, Immokalee Road or Collier Road, and I see those canals on the right, you guys are taking care of those as well?
That's us.
That's you.
Yeah,
awesome.
You might have seen this guy really covered up with a beard poking out, checking out the water. I'm sure a lot of people are like, what are they doing? But yep, that's us. We're keeping and that's a different strategy. So that's a stormwater flowway, and it's critical that those canals stay clear, because when you get 5 inches of rain in this large area, it needs to drain. So those canals are designed to move that water so that city roads and communities don't flood. So we understand both sides of the spectrum, and we do both sides of the spectrum.
Now I'm gonna stick with this because I'm very curious about this. So I don't know if you would be familiar with this or not, but on Immokalee Road. So I live in the corner of Immokalee and Collier Roads. And Immokalee Road, more down towards the NCH Hospital. You know, we have the canal, which is pretty high up here where I am. But then when it gets to near the hospital, there's some sort of apparatus there that like controls the water, and it's much lower, right? And that's where like the homes are, that people have boats and decks in the back and everything. And I'm assuming that's some sort of control for the water levels as well.
That's right. That's a control structure. And when you get delved into water management, they have the ability to hold more water in different places or release it depending on, I mean, it's a whole industry where they have to judge, you know, what's going on with our canals, what's coming weather-wise. Do we need to move water? Do we need to hold water? But yes, you're exactly right. That's designed to do that purpose, exactly, control the level.
And that's pretty much if you're having a lot of rain, you might let it go some of the water, might hold some of the water. And
Yep, exactly. Like even when we get a big storm that we're worried about coming, those city managers have to think about, okay, where are we holding water? Where do we need to make room for all this flood water, storm water that's going to be coming our way? Because it all flows to the coast.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You can have a rain event far north of you that's going to affect your canal. So it's a very interesting field.
And then when your guys are in there, you're kind of cleaning up and looking at the vegetation, cleaning up those canals, and
we are there to make sure that, because there are some notorious weeds, aquatic weeds in Florida that are non-native that have completely clogged systems, and you wouldn't think that a plant could cause this much havoc, but certain plants, if they're left to grow, your water will not drain. It will be so stagnant, and you get rain events, and now you have flooding, and streets are flooding and all kinds of stuff. So we're there to make sure that, at the direction of, you know, the county, you know, keep this ditch open, check this out, keep this vegetation pushed back so that our storm waters can flow.
So like for
now, Sonny, have you had any close encounters with alligators? Because from what I know, there's plenty of alligators in those.
I have an employee watching that I know right now. He wants to send you a video.
There's way too many to even begin to try to explain.
They hide it from me all the time. I'm like, what do you mean? What happened?
We tell her a couple weeks later. That way, it's already done and over with.
It's already done. Yeah, I mean,
I go back to what you were just saying though. Like 2 weeks ago, we were treating the lakes or the canals throughout Golden Gate there in Naples, and we were doing some airboat work on some aquatic vegetation. Whenever that storm was supposed to come through 2 weekends ago, the county released all their water throughout the Golden Gate Canal. So when we went back on Monday, we weren't able to get our boat in because the water levels had dropped so much, because they were anticipating a bunch of rain coming in.
Yeah, they're doing their due diligence to get prepared just in case. So that's the tricky part about that. You're like, oh, we'll take an airboat, come back tomorrow. No, we'll walk. There's no water. But that's part of the job.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you guys a question that I ask all my guests that come in here, which is in regards to COVID-19. You know, so I talked to a lot of people. In certain cases, obviously, COVID affected them more, others not so much. You know, how has it affected you guys? And I know you're mainly outside, so there's probably not a lot of contact, but did you have to make some adjustments to that?
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody could have gone through this without being affected. Yeah. And although we were still able to work, it was just like, I mean, first of all, I have to hopefully have more than one other. We tried to check our employees. Who has Instagram? Not many of us, but I mean, my employees, the way they pushed through, because I think one of the biggest problems is just the anxiety of it all. Like everyone it was so much pressure and just everyone was scared, you know? And we ride crews together for our natural areas. When you're out there, it's, you know, 6 or 5 or 6 in a truck, a couple of trucks on a job. So it'd be larger groups of people. So we had to, split vehicles up and add more vehicles to the road. And then what was really challenging is, as we keep losing our signal here, trying to get our business in the cloud and operating paperlessly and remotely. That was amazing. But now that we've got it, it's wonderful. I'm like, well, that was worth it. It was a little stressful, but now we can all, work from wherever. So that was good. But I just think that we did a really good job managing it. But what I noticed was just the anxiety on everyone, just the scaredness, the bad news all the time, and not knowing what was going to happen next. And we were in the middle of some large lake bank projects. So we had to change how many jobs. Normally we would have done a bunch at one time. And so we decided with the client, let's just do one at a time, because if we get shut down, we don't want to have all of your, lakes tore up and everyone, wondering what's going on. So we definitely had to make some changes in the business, but we were able to keep going and push through.
Another big hurdle was, like she said before, we do a lot of government and work. So as you know, mostly all the government stuff shut down. Yeah. So we had to go out of our way to help them out by getting herbicide, purchasing herbicide, and sitting on it for months at a time until they came back to work so that we could continue to do the work for them. Because even though they all shut down, we had 3 projects going on that all had a deadline of July 31st. They moved that up to
June 30th.
Yeah, they moved it up by 2 months. So it was August 31st. They moved up to June 31st. So we had a lot of...
Yeah, on top of everything, all of our deadlines got pushed up. We were like, well, okay.
So it wasn't so much that you guys were not able to operate. It's just that other people were kind of either shut down
kind of
or
like
slow
dealing with
to
all
react.
of the changes. It was like, and our employees, and then, but everyone hung in there, and it's just people are resilient, and we stuck together, and everyone just adapted and overcame. And, we moved some people around and, took temperatures, stayed away, tried to preach all the rules that are going on. Wear your mask. We wore gloves already, so that was a big worry because we have to wear gloves for chemicals. And I'm like, what?
Most of them wear masks.
We're running out of gloves.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we were all paranoid, like, what do we do if we run out of gloves? And I'm like, then we have to stop. So it was just a lot of stress, like everyone. But we are blessed because we were able to keep working, and that I am super thankful for.
Awesome. We started talking about the different types of clients that you service. If people want to know more about you guys, want to know, where they can read about it, the services that you provide, or maybe they want to call you to, they have an issue, kind of like some of the ones that you said that they want to see if you're able to help, where can they go to get more information?
Okay, the best place is our website. That we've been working really hard to get a clear description. We're back. So
at least it's getting short every time I lose you.
Yes, I'm getting faster reaction time. It's M-E for Mettauer Environmental, but we shortened it so no one had to learn how to spell Mettauer. So it's
I think I misspelled that on my.
Everyone does. It's impossible.
Apologize for that. But if you had to spell my last name, you probably wouldn't either. So I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. So me-fl for Florida.com. And there's a million ways to call us. Click here, get more info, fill out this, fill out that. Or you can always call our office at 239-728-1814. And if we're not available at the moment, we usually always get right back to anybody that calls with questions. A lot of times it'll be Sunny that you get to talk to. And if you do go to our website, hopefully soon you'll be seeing our new special called Sunny in Southwest Florida, where we're doing little fun videos where he's just teaching you about the local vegetation and things that we do in our industry, and try and shed some light on, what these lake and natural. First of all, the biggest confusion is people are like, why are you walking in our woods? Like, why are you in the woods? So that's where we usually have to do a lot of explaining.
Awesome. Well, Sonny, if you ever need a partner on an airboat, just give me a call. I'll be
Oh,
glad to
that
go.
would be fun.
There you go.
I'll record you doing, I'll record you doing these little shows too. So
Shouldn't have said that, Chrissy.
I know. I'm like, ooh, Sunny in Southwest Florida is going on an airboat trip.
So, guys, what I normally do towards the end of the show, I kind of leave an open canvas for my guests to leave a message for their past, current, future customers, or anybody that they want to. So I want to extend that invitation to you guys, give you the floor and let you leave a message for people.
Okay, well, our message is just, that we have a lot of information to share. We love to educate people about the natural Florida and how our systems work together. So we're here to help, and a lot of other companies in our industry don't, less is more to them, like the less you know, the better, and that is totally not our model. So we provide full reporting services with pictures and very, very detailed information on all of the work that we do. And we would love to come out, teach you about our company, take a look at whatever you've got, and let you know what you could be doing better, or if you're missing something, or, just go over, what you have and why it's there, just like you, not knowing that the grass is there for a reason.
I was kind of angry when they first put that grass there.
That's what you said. I'm like, most people are. Like, because communication is key, and that's why we've been developing our reporting software to communicate better, because I believe if everybody understands, then they'll be fine with it. If you understand that this serves a purpose, it's not just your pretty lake that somebody didn't ask you what to put those plants in there, it'll change everyone's attitude, and we'll all, do our best effort to keep it clean and do a good job at sending the water out cleaner.
Awesome. Great. Sonny, you have any messages?
She pretty much covered most of it.
All right.
No, he wants to say he can't wait to see you checking into
That's right.
Sunny in Southwest Florida. It's coming.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and, educating me and my viewers on something that it's, new, but very interesting too. I think it's, the more I learn about it this afternoon as we're talking, it was supposed to be a 5-minute call. We ended up talking and kept asking questions, and I'm a very curious guy too. So.
That's what I say. I'm like, I can talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's like, where do you stop?
So it's, thank you so much for taking the time and explaining to us and telling us a little bit about yourselves and in the business too. And, if anybody has any questions, any interest in learning more, can definitely call you guys. And a little plug for Sonny there. Be sure to watch his shows coming up. So
Sunny in Southwest Florida.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Make sure I get you on an episode on there.
Oh, that's going to be great. I can't wait. He's like, he knows it's coming.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. My pleasure. Take care.
Bye.
You too.